Welcome to yet another joyous Friday. Now, I had something else planned for this Friday, but as usual, life intervened, and I saw something that initially seemed sad, but now in retrospect, I've learned my lesson, and I think it's turned to glad. This was the passing of Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk, and I'm going to actually be reading to you a few things from the book with which I was introduced to him. And it is Peace is Every Step. Now, I want to give you just a little personal viewpoint of why I was interested in this and why this has been a significantly meaningful book to me. And that's one of the things I mentioned in the introductory dialogue that's printed by Story and Song. This is a book that has made a difference in my life. So oftentimes we kind of flip that off our shoulders and say, oh, there have been important books. Well, this has been a vitally important book. In 2005, I was diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer, and it had metastasized to the spine. And I went into surgery, and it was really a rather dire situation, all things considered. And I remember after coming out of the surgery, in which the tumor had not been totally removed, because I had this arbitrary wish not to have my head in my lap, because the tumor was at the base of the head to the spine, and they couldn't take it all out. So the doctors, of course, were conferring, and my parents were very concerned, as was I. My palliative medicine specialist came in to me after I was cognizant, after the operation, and said, well, what would you like to hear? I can tell you the whole story, or I can just give you the outlines. And I said, well, being who I am and what I am, I want to know everything. And he proceeded to tell me. Now, my parents had been told I had probably 3 to 5 month prognosis. He looked at me dead in the eye and said, I'm thinking, now that I've looked at the x-rays and everything, we're talking more about 3 to 4 weeks, and that's it, because they didn't get the tumor. And I had a lot of decisions to make about chemo, about radiation, and all of these things. And obviously, I was very upset by this, but I got what I asked for. And one of the things he suggested to me rather, was that I take a look at this book, Peace is Every Step. And I heard the word Buddhism, and immediately I thought of some foreign thought process, and I'd had it with Catholicism, Judaism, Christianity, everything ism. And I thought, oh yes, another ism to get under your belt. Nobody's found the answers yet. Well, I managed to get over that, started reading the book, and I am going to read you a few things from this and encourage you mightily to get a hold of this book and read the whole thing from front to back. I do want to check a figure here before I spout it. Yes. He has actually, Thich Nhat Hanh has written over 75 books. There are many that are quite wonderful, but this one in particular gives you not concepts. It doesn't try to convert you to something. It just tells you or encourages you to get from one place to the next. It opens with 24 brand new hours. Every morning when we wake up, We have 24 brand new hours to live. What a precious gift! We have the capacity to live in a way that these 24 hours will bring peace, joy, and happiness to ourselves and others. Peace is present right here and now, in ourselves and in everything we do and see. The question is whether or not we are in touch with it. And we don't have to travel far away to enjoy the blue sky. We don't have to leave our city or even our neighborhood to enjoy the eyes of a beautiful child. Even the air we breathe can be a source of joy. We can smile, breathe, walk, eat our meals in a way that allows us to be in touch with the abundance of happiness that is available. We are very good at preparing to live, but not very good at living. We know how to sacrifice 10 years for a diploma, and we're willing to work very hard to get a job, a car, a house, and so on. But we have difficulty remembering that we are alive in the present moment, the only moment there is for us to be alive. Every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. We need only to be awake, alive, and in the present moment. Now, this small book is offered as a bell of mindfulness, a reminder that happiness is possible only in the present moment. Of course, planning for the future is a part of life, but even planning can only take place in the present moment. This book is an invitation to come back to the present moment and find peace and joy. I offer some of my experiences and a number of techniques that may be of help. Oh, but please do not wait until finishing this book to find peace. Peace and happiness are available in every moment. Peace is every step. We shall walk hand in hand. Bon voyage. Now, a little personal information again. Beware, I'm going to do some insertions in this reading because I want to show you just how much a difference this book can make. I am insanely claustrophobic. If I can't breathe and something is closing in on me, my mind just explodes. I really get to the point of terror. If any of you have ever had a panic attack, you'll know whereof I speak. Well, before and, going through a hospital procedure, you've got the PET scans, the CAT scans, and they send you into these tubes and you can't move, and the top of it comes down practically smack dab on your nose. Well, I was always somewhat drugged with Valium or something like that before I went in. I read this book. It gave me a key. I don't need the drugs. I do have control over what I feel and how I react. This is on conscious breathing. There are a number of breathing techniques you can use to make life vivid and more enjoyable. The first exercise is very simple. As you breathe in, you say to yourself, breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. And as you breathe out, say, breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Just that. You recognize your in-breath as an in-breath and your out-breath as an out-breath. You don't even need to recite the whole sentence. You can just use 2 words, in and out. This technique can help you keep your mind on your breath. As you practice, your breath will become more peaceful and gentle, and your mind and body will also become peaceful and gentle. This is not a difficult exercise. In just a few minutes, you can realize the fruit of meditation. Breathing in and out is very important, and it is enjoyable. Our breathing in is the link between our body and our mind. Sometimes our mind is thinking of one thing and our body is doing another, and mind and body are not unified. By concentrating on our breathing in and out, we bring body and mind back together and become whole again. Conscious breathing is an important bridge. To me, breathing is a joy that I cannot miss. Every day, I practice conscious breathing. And in my small meditation room, I have calligraphed this sentence: breathe, you are alive. Just breathing and smiling can make us very happy, because when we breathe consciously, we recover ourselves completely and encounter life in the present moment. Now, 2 months ago, I had to go in for one of those miserable tests, and amazing to me, the second I lay down, head out, preparing to be shot into that toothpaste tube, I started my breathing, and I added something to it, which is suggested later in the book, and these are things you can try. But on your breathing, you breathe in, but on your breathing out, you smile. Oh, a smile does physiologically wonderful things to your body. But I smiled at that point, and I just kept that up. And I heard the voices say, don't move, and, you'll hear a sound, and this is happening, and that's happening. I didn't pay any attention to that. I was in my own sphere, thanks to Thich Nhat Hanh. And guess what? I was pulled out 45 minutes later, and I thought I had just gone in. This makes a difference. You do not need medicines and chemicals to achieve this, what I will call, for want of a better term, this state of bliss. And I want to tell you another personal story. This is very much a show and tell session. I had dinner with a friend of mine 2 days ago. I was mightily ticked off at something that was in the news leader, and I won't even tell you what it was. But I was alone at home, and I thought, oh my God, I don't want to be alone in my home, in my kitchen, with a knife in my hand, with this attitude issue going on. So I called her, and we decided to have dinner because we shared an upset over something in the newspaper. And came in, sat down, and I was chatting, told her that what I was going to do this Friday, and reading the Thich Nhat Hanh Pieces Every Step, and she wasn't really familiar with all of this. A more traditional train of thought. And so we sat down, and on the kitchen table where we ate was a vase with a single glorious camellia in it. And I said, okay, I'm not going to give you a textbook description. I'm going to meditate with you in this flower before we eat. And I'm not kidding you. I would have had severe digestive problems if I'd eaten in my state of mind, because I was really violently upset. People who know me know I don't think without passion. I said, look at the stamens on that. They're wonderful gathering of these long pieces. Look at the outside. She said, oh, that looks like crepe that I had in one of my dresses. Oh, she was right. And then I pointed out, oh, look, it's the striations, the white, the red. And I said, let's take this a step further. Think of the bee or the butterfly. Instant Emily Dickinson flash. Okay, think of those. Think of it going in for nectar. Think of it taking the pollen, going to another blossom, fertilizing that, and we have the next generation of camellias beginning to start. And we're reminded of it in the table. Look at the water. Think of the water that's in the vase. Think of the cloud that the water came from. Think of the rain that comes down from the cloud and nourishes the camellia. And we could take those images on further and further. But guess what that conversation before eating created? It created a sense of harmony between the both of us. It created a pathway for us to have nourishment and to enjoy a very special, wonderful moment. We didn't have to have somebody telling us what to do, and we didn't have to solve a problem. But I'll get to this later. We have solved the problem, but it came through conversation. Cookie of childhood, writes Thich Nhat Hanh. When I was 4 years old, my mother used to bring me a cookie every time she came home from the market. Oh, I always went to the front yard and took my time eating it. Sometimes half an hour or 45 minutes for one cookie. I would take a small bite and look up at the sky. Then I would touch the dog with my feet and take another small bite. Oh, I just enjoyed being there with the sky, the earth, the bamboo thickets, the cat, the dog, the flowers. I was able to do that because I did not have much to worry about. I did not think of the future. I did not regret the past. I was entirely in the present moment with my cookie, the dog, the bamboo thicket, the cat, and everything. It is possible to eat our meals as slowly and joyfully as I ate the cookie of my childhood. Maybe you have the impression that you have lost the cookie of your childhood, but I am sure it is still there, somewhere in your heart. Everything is still there, and if you really want it, you can find it. Eating mindfully is a most important practice of meditation. We can eat in a way that we restore the cookie of our childhood. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Now, another personal observation. As those of you who know me know, I've done a lot of theater in my time, both as an actor, director, manager, this, that, and the other thing. But after I read this book, I had a new way of approaching the characters I was playing. The worst thing that an actor can do is act. It's fake, phony, miserable, silly, stupid. Help me. Think of all the nasty words you can think of. However, the second you actually do something on stage, the audience has the potential of being riveted in what you do and what you think. And literally, that's why before I go on stage, I take a good 5 minutes when I'm not joking around with people, slapping backs and talking and laughing. I'm in my own world. Well, it isn't really my own world. I'm creating the reality, the meditative reality of the character that I'm portraying. So I don't strut onto the stage and become the character. No, I am the character in the wings before I come on stage. So that when I come on stage, I come on not as Ron Kurtz, I come on as whoever I'm portraying. And that helps the audience be brought into the moment, as it were. And by the way, I'm not going to be specific because I don't want to get into something political, but the thing that we solved by coming to a committee of citizens, or we're planning on doing, and changing a certain piece of writing that introduces something in our community to reflect a concern rather than a knee-jerk reaction of, and I'll give you a hint, taking a statue away and putting it somewhere else. Such mind-boggling stupidity. Oh well, that's my commentary. Now, walking meditation. I want to encourage you, again, to look at this book because you have breathing meditation, walking meditation, eating meditation. These are not wastes of time. These are explorations of time and your place in it. Walking meditation can be very enjoyable. We walk slowly, alone with our friends, if possible, in some beautiful place. Walking meditation is really to enjoy the walking. Walking not in order to arrive, but just to walk. The purpose is to be in the present moment and, aware of our breathing and our walking, to enjoy each step. Therefore, we have to shake off all worries and anxieties. Not thinking of the future, not thinking of the past, just enjoying the present moment. We can take the hand of a child as we do it. We walk. We make steps as if we are the happiest person on earth. Although we walk all the time, our walking is usually more like running. When we walk like that, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We have to walk in a way that we only print peace and serenity on the earth. We can all do this, provided that we want it very, very much. Any child can do it. If we can take one step like this, we can take 2, 3, 4, 5. When we are able to take one step peacefully and happily, we are working for the cause of peace and happiness for the whole of humankind. Walking meditation is a wonderful practice. When we do walking meditation outside, we walk a little slower than our normal pace, and we coordinate our breathing with our steps. For example, we may take 3 steps with each in-breath and 3 steps with each out breath. So we can say, in, out, out, out. In is to help us identify the in-breath. Every time we call something by its name, we make it more real, like saying the name of a friend. If your lungs want 4 steps instead of 3, please give them 4 steps. If they want only 2 steps, give them 2. The lengths of your in-breath and out-breath do not have to be the same. For example, you can take 3 steps with each inhalation and 4 with each exhalation. If you feel happy, peaceful, and joyful while you are walking, you are practicing correctly. Be aware of the contact between your your feet and the earth. Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. Oh, we have caused a lot of damage to the earth. Now it is time for us to take good care of her. We bring our peace and calm to the surface of the earth and share the lesson of love. We walk in that spirit. From time to time, when we see something beautiful, we may want to stop and look at it. A tree, a flower, some children playing. As we look, we continue to follow our breathing, lest we lose the beautiful flower and get caught up in our thoughts. When we want to resume walking, we just start again. Each step we take will create a cool breeze, refreshing our body and mind. Every step makes a flower bloom under our feet. We can do it only if we do not think of the future or the past. If we know that life can only be found in the present moment. I find it nigh on impossible to believe that a second has passed, but Connor tells me a half hour has passed. I want to tell you just one other brief personal thing, and a way that this book and 2 of the 75 others that he wrote have impacted on me. This has been a gruesome year for me personally. I say that without accessing Thich Nhat Hanh, because I will reinterpret this year as I think through it differently. But I've had some very, very close friends leave this plane this year, and it's been hard. It hasn't been a very good experience. But I've turned to this book, and I've realized something. I mean, some people get it through the Bible, Christianity, Judaism, Torah, Quran, however, whatever your path is. This almost is a non-secular path that allows you to access the totality of existence and our place in it. I am so happy that I am alive. I'm so thankful that they were alive. Until next week, next Friday.